Alright guys, RDM back, and in this video we're gonna go over all of the power board devices and their in-depth reviews so that everybody knows how to use them, and also my tips and tricks for each one of them. Some of them can actually be very useful. So sorry, we have teammates running around, we're prepping for a little bit of a raid. So anyway, here you have your obvious workbench. Oh wait, sorry, I should go over this here. So the power board here, for any of you who don't know, this is what your workbench works off of, and the power board itself draws power from the core. So this costs 20 metal. It's not that expensive. It's for a new player, it's fairly easy to get 20 metal, I would say. And then you just place this on any tile like this, okay? So here you have the workbench, and in the workbench is where you can craft pretty much anything. Obviously stuff's gonna cost resources, so you take your resources, you put it in your inventory, and then you come here and then you can craft whatever you need to craft based on that. Now the problem with this is, so like right here, say I had these mines here and I had more mines queued up than just these 5. This is gonna stop production until you actually take these out and remove them, and then once you do that, this will continue production again. So just keep that in mind. You always want to be emptying these out if you're mass crafting anything, because it will halt your production, and when you go to use the items, because you then need them, you will have to wait further for that. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is this here. This is a repair bench. The repair bench is another thing that draws power from the core with this power board. And what you do here is you put a broken item in the slot like this, and then it's going to pop up the requirements to repair this. So for this particular energy SMG, it's going to cost 2 fine cylinders, 2 battery pack level 2s, and 2 fine metal.
Put some bear meat back. You took like 40 pieces.
And then it's going to say here, chance of a perfect repair, 70%. Perfect repair is going to be complete repair, fully 100% repair. Range of max durability after repair, it's going to show you a max durability rating. So this is going to show 1080 by 1140. So that's going to show your repair range on there, and you're going to go ahead and hit repair, and it'll repair the item for you. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is the little thing, which actually I don't even know if we have one because I find it really annoying, but it's the little, let me try to find it in here. It's the, where is it at in here? It's the thing that, I forget the name of it actually. This right here, the item retriever. So what this item does, this facility will reclaim immediately your items registered through your mailbox when you die. Reclaimed items will be erased on its list, can be installed into the ground, foundation, or floor. So basically, and I don't have one to show you because I don't really use these too often. Sorry about that. I don't really use these too often, but what you do is you go and you enter it, and it's gonna have 3 slots. What you do is you grab an item and you place it into that slot. Can you guys stop? You place it into a slot, and then you pay the Pteroside. So for most items, I think it's 1500 per item of Pteroside. You put 1500 Pteroside in your inventory, you put it in the slot, you save it, and then it will save that item, and it's only good for 1 use. So after you use that, you die with that piece on, it's going to be sent to your mailbox, which is here. You hit tab and you come over here, you can also press P, and it will be at the bottom of your mailbox here. Alright, and so that's a way of reclaiming like your armor pieces. It's really good for doing armor, I suppose. So if you have like a really good armor set, you can do 3 pieces of that. You can it's kind of like a green slot, but a one-time use for 1500 Pteroside. It's a little expensive for me. I really tend to not use it too much, but it is a good little cool feature that you can do. That's the one thing I do not have. I don't really find it that useful, but Anyway, so the next thing we have here is going to be a grill. This is just obviously self-explanatory. You put meat in here in the top slots, meat, mushrooms, whatever ingredients you want. You can click here and you can show a recipe list. So for example, boar meat is going to be turned into bear meat is going to be turned into bear steak, elk meat into elk steak, mushrooms into roasted dryad saddles, parable mushrooms into roasted parable mushrooms, and then kebabs into, or uncooked kebabs into kebabs. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the meat up there, you're going to turn this on. When you activate it, see it's going to start burning, the fire lights up, pretty cool animation. That fire is going to start on up. And then you are going to, it'll be cooked, this percentage will go up, and when it's 100%, your meat, your food will be cooked, and you can grab that out of there and eat it. The next thing is going to be, we're going to be talking about probably one of the most important things that can go on a power cell, and that's going to be your forges, okay? So your forge here, you open it up, right? And it's going to show you over here, you can turn Pterosite into fine Pterosite. With a timer, right? And you also have this adjustable bar here. So let's go ahead and put 1 in there. Okay, so with 1 in there, it's going to take 90 seconds per percent for full energy per minute, right? So if you have this on full 100% energy, drawing 100% energy, it's going to take 90 seconds. If you drag this down, the time is going to go up, but you're going to be using a lot less power, okay? So yeah, it gets pretty ridiculous. So if you want to do these overnight, like you're sleeping or anything, you can turn the power way down and you can just kind of let them cook, and that's one really good way of doing that. What else? Okay, so also it also does metal, so you can turn metal into fine metal, and it's the same thing with that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about with these is farms. So I'll let you have a little gander at our farm, since this wipe's probably not going to last too much longer. So I'll just go ahead and open all these. This is my Pteroside farm. Okay. This is for crafting things, crafting explosives. That's not part of it. So we have here. You see, I have, I believe I have 18 forges in here in my base. And this is a forge farm. Okay. I fill these with Pterosite, I let them cook overnight. I fill all of these with iron, I cook iron overnight. I'm always constantly cooking. The reason I haven't done it now is because I forgot to before this video started. But these will generally always be running while I am on the server. And I'm able to keep an eye on the power levels for the core, because this does draw a fantastic amount of power. So that leads us into the next part of the farm. So once you have these, it doesn't have to be this huge of a scale, but once you have these going, you're going to be collecting fine iron and fine Pterosite. Now there's a couple uses for fine Pterosite. Currently, if we go over here to the bench, I believe rockets use fine Pterosite. Rocket cartridges? Yeah. So rocket cartridges use fine Pterosite. So if you're making rockets to go raid people or anything like that, that's going to use fine Pterosite. It's also going to use fine metal. So both these things are endgame raiding materials that are going to be very much needed, right? So you want to be farming for those as well. The other thing you want is for the Pterosite thing, the Pteroside Transmitter, not thing. It's gonna be in here for me. It's the Pteroside Transmitter. It's this thing here. So you press F on this, and this, what this does is it has it's pretty much like a kind of like a shop system. So if you come here, you have your common, where it's gonna have single or it's gonna be limited on your purchases down here. So this is 1 out of 1, 1 out of 1, 2 out of 1, 0 out of 1. So I've already bought that. 0 out of 1, I've already bought that. Okay, so these don't refresh. So once you buy these, that's kind of it for that. As for things that I recommend buying, when you're just starting, I recommend buying the Energy SMG. It's very accurate. It's a very good gun. I'm gonna be doing reviews on guns in one of these videos, but for this one, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the energy SMG is a really good kind of mid-game weapon. Very, very accurate. Other than that, I mean, you can grab forges, you can grab the turret, you can grab any of these things that you generally want. The gear's not too good if it's just throwaway gear. But then up here you have limited wear. So up here you have limited wear. These are much more expensive. In my shop now, I just have some purple gear. I tend not to buy purple gear unless I need farming sets. Farming sets I use for running around farming. If I die and lose it, oh, then I die and lose it. It's not too big of an issue for me. Okay, so right here, so the timer's at 0. So if we back out and enter again because it refreshed, or it hasn't, I'm not sure why, but anyway, this bottom timer is gonna count down, and when it does, these are gonna refresh, and there's gonna be 3 new items here. So you can buy all 3 of these and then wait for the refresh and then buy the next 3. It doesn't matter. Okay, up here is the point system where you add Pterosites and you get your points. So what you're gonna do, let's say this is a fine Pterosite where we cooked it up in the forge and we took it out and we have a bunch of it or a little bit of it, and we just want to get some currency points to buy these things. We can go ahead and put that fine Pterosite in here. Okay, you can also put Pterosite or fine Pterosite does work on this, but the conversion rates is going to be right here. So regular Pterosite is worth 5 points, fine Pterosite is worth 460 points each, and superior Pterosite is worth 500 points each. Okay, so this is just depending on how many materials you have and how many materials you can spare. Okay, so obviously it's a little more prudent, or it's a little more logical to go with the fine Pterosite because the superior Pterosite is kind of a end game resource and you tend to need quite a bit. Fine Pterosite is as well, but it's for 460 points. I believe fine Pterosite is going to be the best one to convert over. So when you convert over fine Pterosite, you get points here. I'm sitting at 2 million, but see, this will plus 5. So if I was at 0 Pterosite points and I put a Pterosite in here, it's going to say plus 5, and then I'll send it and it adds that 5 to your balance. Okay, and then you can buy this stuff. This is pretty much all Pterosite points are for right now, is buying gear out of here. I tend not to buy anything but weapons and legendary gear if I need a set for a more maybe like a more serious PvP fight, or I'm running a facility and I just want the radiation bonuses on it so I don't take a ton of radiation. I'll do that, but that's pretty much all for the Pteroside transmitter. You can just basically farm points, and the thing about that is if you come over here to the leaderboard and you see the leaderboard here, the Pteroside transmission points, this is a good way of raising your rank, because every time you put Pteroside points into there, you basically add a lot to your pointage there and your rank will go up. I've lost rank 1, which is fine. I need to take a break. Grinding for rank 1 is pretty hard. It's a constant, no sleep effort. But anyway, next thing we're going to talk about is this utility controller. So the integrated utility controller, it's this thing here. So you go ahead and F on this, and it opens up the menu for this. This thing is an absolute must for most bases, in my opinion. So what this does exactly is it shows a list of utility devices. Now this list of utility devices it's going to list everything in your core. Every device that is inside of your core radius is going to be listed here. So as you can see, we have our building core here. That's listed. You can go ahead and click that. It pops up here. Now the cool thing about this is you can be entirely across your base and you can access anything in your base. So basically we have the building core here. We opened that. Now we have access to the building core. We can add stuff, we can take stuff away, we can convert, we can do all of that good stuff, okay, just from this utility controller. And it's going to be the same with the workbench. you can go ahead and click this, and then no matter where you're at in the base, say your utility controllers on the other side of your base than your crafting station, this would be a good way to actually grab the craft or start crafting stuff from across your base. You don't have to go ahead and click on the workbench and do that. So that's for that. I can just go ahead and see. You see I'm in the integrated controller, and we're going to go ahead and craft one of these. And it's going to go ahead and it's going to craft one of these medical shots. And then it's going to be placed in the storage, and I can grab that out and boom. Okay. And I didn't even need to touch the workbench. Sorry. Not feeling too great. My throat's been a little sore the last few days, so excuse me. If I sound raspy, I don't mean to. So the next thing we want to go over is going to be we're gonna go. What you can do is hit return here, okay, and it's gonna take you back to the list of utility devices again. And for this farm I was talking about a minute ago, specifically, what you can do with that is you can go ahead and hit forge, and it's going to pop up a list of all your forges. Now what I tend to do with this is, because I have so many forges, and if I'm clicking them, for example, and I am taking everything out of there and then returning, they have these tags up here. These are the basic default names for the items, so the tags up here are very confusing when they're all named tag hashtag different numbers. So what I do is I name them 1 through how many ever I have. So I think I have 16, 17, whatever. So I'll hit that. Oh, pardon me, let me go eat something really quickly before I die, and I'm gonna embarrass myself in this video. But anyway, yeah, so that's the utility controller. And the thing about the farm is you can add resources to that. So you can close off your farm, you can secure your forge farm, and you'll never need to actually go into that farm and take anything out or add anything to those forges, because you can do it all from the integrated controller. So we're gonna go ahead and shut down here, go back to the integrated controller, go to the forge. So yeah, I recommend naming that, and the way you naming things, and the way you do that is you click on the item there and you hit forge, and then it opens up a menu where you can name your devices. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. And you can also add things. So say I wanted to farm some Pteroside, I would throw that in there, click that on. It's not empty, it's lagging or something. I'm not sure what's happening right now, but so that's basically how you do that. That's how you control your farm from this integrated controller, which is really, really helpful. Again, you can come in here with anything. You can come in here and cook. You can do anything from this integrated controller, as well as turn on turrets. In my last video about the roof bunkers, roof defense bunkers, we talked about how you can use integrated controllers here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. You can go ahead and rename this turret. We're going to name this turret crafting. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to rename this turret here. So if we go back to our integrated controller, we keep an eye on this, we hit F to open that, and go to our turret list, which is turret L. We can scroll through here, we hit turret crafting, we hit on, and that turret's gonna power on. Okay, you can and these can be anywhere in your core radius. These will turn on anything in your core radius, and you can also turn them off. So if you're running low on core power and you're getting a little nervous and you have 18 forges running like I do, you can run in here like this. You can go down here, you can hit this utility controller, and then you can go to forges, and then you can deactivate all. Okay, when you deactivate all, it will turn them off. This over here is a master deactivator. We can go ahead and show you what that does. That's going to deactivate absolutely everything in the base. Okay, and that's going to turn off everything that's using power. So the bounding mines, the turrets, the grills. If the forges are running, it'll do those as well. And then you can also activate all, and as you see here, it will turn on. Now the reason why these are turning red and they're not on is because they have nothing in them. They're empty. So it's automatically going to turn those off when it's empty. And this one's on because we put that 200 Pteroside in there, and it's going to run through some Pteroside. And it's going to forge me some Pteroside. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense. It's pretty self-explanatory. I know this probably didn't need to be a video, but I just, for those confused, I wanted to make sure you guys knew every aspect of that. This is absolutely a must-have device for me, especially when I have a very sheltered base where things are all in different places and I need to have access to them. I can have access to the entire base through this utility controller. And that's basically it about the different kind of crafting and different kind of devices you can have in your base. There's some other ones, fences and stuff like that. We can go over those in another video. But for this one, guys, we're gonna call it here. And I'm sorry if it's such a short video. I just wanted to throw this out there. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.